Good afternoon. I want to welcome all our friends in the media. I want to thank my colleagues who are joining me here today to talk about the end of the mask mandate, both for businesses, which is long overdue, and we welcome that for our small businesses, but also the end of the mask mandate for our children, which still remains inexplicably, I think, at this point, fair to say. Last week, my conference sent a letter. Every member of the Republican conference signed a letter to Governor Hochul asking for the metrics that she would use in keeping the mask mandate in place for kids, but also in identifying the metrics that would be used to end it. What's the off-ramp? Because at this point, without data identifying when it would end, you would have to believe that it could go on forever. Because clearly we're not following the science any longer, and to prove that point, we received no data, no metrics, and in fact, her Department of Health said there is no data to identify. There is no identified off-ramp. We don't really know, but they tell us we're using the data and we're following the experts. The same experts who've been wrong countless times for the past 2 years. So we're still following them. And again, I think everyone knows that we've been following political science for a very long time. This conference stood up to Governor Cuomo and his emergency powers and executive orders time and again. Over 50 times we voted to end his emergency COVID powers. Over 50 times our colleagues in the Democratic conference voted to keep them in place. To prove that point right there. But this conference continues to stand up for rational thought, for science, for freedom, and our colleagues across the aisle, really, the narrative is the same as it's been the whole time. They have no interest in governing during the pandemic. They have no interest in providing a check on the governor, whoever the governor is. They have no interest in providing any type of backstop or involvement. They are content to let whoever the governor is or whoever the health commissioner is. Going back to Howard Zucker, a health commissioner who lied to them, who lied to all of us, who lied to the public about countless things. And now they want to trust the health department again as they consider making permanent changes to governing public health during any kind of an outbreak, not even COVID specific, behind closed doors by unelected bureaucrats. It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. Our colleagues across the aisle have shown no backbone and a complete abdication of their responsibilities as elected officials. And Governor Hochul, who I had some hope for, would operate in a far more transparent manner than her predecessor. She has gone down the same path, even worse in some ways, because at least we all knew that it was Governor Cuomo making these decisions. She's hiding behind the health commissioner. She's hiding behind unelected so-called experts with not even providing any details or metrics as to when it might end. And that is not how government should be done. And our conference will continue to call that out when we see it. And again, we're calling for the end of the mask mandate for children. It is ridiculous that kids are going to walk around every other part of, they're going to go to football games or sporting events or parties, no masks. They see their adult counterparts, their moms and dads, no masks. They go to the mall, no masks. But as soon as they walk into school, got to mask up. I can tell you, they're smart enough to know this doesn't add up. And that's why we're calling this out. You see other states, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, they've all ended the mask mandate for kids. What is happening right now to our students is really nothing short of child abuse at this point. And we are going to call that out. We are going to continue to call on the governor to rescind this mask mandate. This should be the end of mandates. School districts know how to keep their kids safe. Parents know how to keep their kids safe. Teachers know how to keep their kids safe. They've been doing it, by the way, for my entire life. Beyond that, suddenly now we think that everybody needs Albany to tell it what to do. 2 years almost beyond into this pandemic. And again, without any sort of justification by the governor or her Department of Health. So that is what we are here to do today, calling on the end of the mask mandate. She has said she's going to wait till the winter break. She should do it today. There is no reason to push this off. I was at a school district last week when a student asked me point blank, do you think I'll be able to take my mask off before the end of the school year? I had to tell him, I certainly hope so, and I'm going to fight that you can, but I don't know the answer to that. I have teachers that don't even know what their kids look like without their masks. I have kids that don't know what their teachers look like without their mask. And we're talking about even in child care centers, 2- and 3-year-olds. This was tried by Governor Cuomo last summer. This conference stood up unequivocally, and Governor Cuomo backed down, rightly so. Governor Hochul, looking to outdo him, has continued to put it in place. We have no idea what the negative impacts are going to be on 2- and 3-year-olds wearing a mask for the entire day. I was at a Niagara Falls School District on Saturday, and there was a mom there, and she brought up a good point. Most of us, even during the height of the pandemic as adults, we wore a mask for 2 hours, maybe an hour, maybe a half hour. It was very right. You go into the grocery store, then you get out. You stand up from your table, you go to the bathroom, then you go back to These kids are wearing masks 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, every day. I don't think I've ever worn a mask that long. So what we are doing to them is even more than we asked adults to do at the height of the pandemic, let alone 2 years in, with all the metrics showing that there has never been significant spread in schools, even before there was a vaccine, which is a credit to our parents, teachers, and school districts. And it is, again, the reason why this mandate should end today.